Hello and welcome to this review of Paddy's Irish Whiskey. I bought this bottle for $19.96 at Rouse's. The same price. It is the same price at Total Wine & More. And at other stores it's about $2 or $3 higher. But I got a good deal on it, I guess. Old Irish Whiskey, blend of grain, malt, and pot still. Established 1779. That's before the United Kingdom was even started or founded, which was 1801. Product of Ireland, aged for a minimum of 3 years according to the Irish Whiskey Act of 1980, Cork Distillers Company Limited, and it's distilled at Middleton, County Cork, Ireland. Now Middleton Distillery I think mainly makes Jameson, but this is imported and bottled by Sazerac Company, so they have a contract for this to be made for Sazerac, who bought this brand in 2016. Now on the website they talk about Patrick O'Flaherty. But here on the bottle they're talking about Paddy Flaherty with no O apostrophe. So I don't know. This is the new label design. You can look up Sazerac.com to give a brief rundown of it, and then it'll link you to the main website, which is paddywhiskey.com. So, showing 4 regions of Ireland: Northern, Western, Eastern, and Southern. This is from Cork. Alright. And they use a real cork. Not a rubber stopper, which is nice. I didn't have any experience with this product. There's a number of video reviews for it. It's pretty well known. I noticed by doing some internet searches there's some old advertisements for it, magazine advertisements, but not many. So some people say it's better than Jameson, others say no. I did the Drumcastle Irish Whiskey. I really liked it. Even had a smoky peaty note, which is unusual, but it had that. I should revisit that. I bought it at Albertsons. Then I did the Bushmills Original, the white label, the Bushmills Black, and the Bushmills Red Bush, and now this. So I'm going to put this in taste challenges against those 3. And maybe the Drumcastle if I buy it. Now Walmart here, if I repurchase it. Now Walmart here has a huge selection of Irish whiskey for whatever reason. Just the Irish whiskey that Walmart sells here could keep me occupied for many, many months. No doubt. And they have some brands I never heard of. I mean, I've heard of some of the ones they have, of course, but some are so obscure. It's straw gold. No. It's actually deeper gold than straw. It's just gold. It's a gold, you know what I'm saying? Standard gold. The alcohol legs are skinny. Nice dripping alcohol legs. So 40% alcohol, 80 proof. It's triple distilled, which is normal for Irish blended whiskey, and they use 3 types of whiskey: grain whiskey, pot still whiskey, and single malt whiskey. And you know, American blended whiskeys use a multiplicity. Grain spirits mainly, usually around 80%, and then they'll add straight bourbon or straight whiskey of some other sort, could be corn whiskey. They may add rye whiskey, wheat whiskey, and even blending sherry to American blended whiskey. But I don't think Irish whiskey allows blending sherry. But then I could be unaware of such a thing, but I've never heard anything like that. All right. And then Canadian blended whiskey have even more, can have even more intricate flavorings, such as rum and brandy and even American bourbon, plus the wine. Okay. It's a pungent grain on the nose, and it's a obviously a mixture. It's probably about 80% grain whiskey, but I'm totally guessing. I don't know what it is. You would assume it's predominantly grain whiskey with the most of your flavor coming from the copper pot still, and even more so the single malt. But you get cereal grains and some bread dough. Let's go with the taste. I'm going to have written reviews on distiller.com and proof66.com, aside from the video review. It's grain alcohol predominantly, and there's a little harshness to it. Not, I would say that the Bushmills, and the Bushmills is from Northern Ireland, and this one is maybe not as harsh as the Bushmills original. I'd have to do a side-by-side, and actually I plan to do a side-by-side blind taste test. But I did like the Bushmills. I think I scored it a B+. I like this one though, but because it has, I think, more of a dough flavor. And I think that bread dough is coming from the single malt whiskey. A lot of mild malt whiskeys will have bread dough. Yes, there are Paddy's variants. I think Total Wine and More sells one called Paddy's Honey. It's Irish whiskey with honey added, a liqueur. Usually those will go around 70 proof. And there may be more. You wouldn't see it on the website for Paddy's, but they got it at Total Wine. So we know it exists. Glad that refrigerator cut off. It's nice. I mean, it's mild. You could downgrade it and say, I don't like it because it's too mild. But then, of course, that's what it's designed to be. It's like Seagram's VO. You could downgrade it and say, I don't like that whiskey because it's just very bland. It's almost as though they just made it specifically to be a mixer. And if you looked at the old Diageo website for it, they said, we created this to be a mixer. And so, and Sazerac does not deny that either, the new owners for the last couple of years. So I don't think it's fair to attack a product when it's tasting the way it was designed to taste. Like saying a light beer is bad because it's so thin and watery. Well, you know, think about what you're drinking. But it's very pleasant. I think it's going to make a good competitor against the 3 Bushmills I own so far. Don't know about Jameson, but I do plan to bring Jameson and probably be the next one. Whether I ever get back to Drumcastle, I don't know. I probably won't because the viewers are going to say, I can't get that, you know. And I don't blame them for saying that. They want to see videos for things they can access. And that makes sense because I'm the same way. One more sip and I'll score it. I've never been to Ireland. My daughter's been twice. She went to Cork. They were drinking Murphy's mainly. Then she went to Scotland and England and Belgium and the Netherlands. I said, you go all over. I haven't been anywhere outside of this quadrant. I think a fair score would be a 93. 9.3 out of 10. It is most excellent in its own mild, mellow way. If you're looking for super bold, intense, edgy, and challenging whiskey, this is not going to be the one to try. But then, of course, if you're looking for those kind of features, you're probably not going to be grabbing this in the first place because you probably know enough about these products that you're already searching for what you've been researching about. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know the brands that are going to fit the bill. So, but this does fit the bill for those who like milder products. And people might ask me, what do you prefer, the mild and mellow or the harsh and intense and the bold? Well, actually, I prefer both. I can appreciate what they're presenting, so I like both. Very nice. Been on the market since 1779. Used to have a different name. Can't remember. But the new name was adopted in 1913. 107 short years ago, as of the time of this recording, they adopted the name Paddy's, or Paddy, as the old label used to say, named after their most famous salesman, Paddy Flaherty or Patrick O'Flaherty, depending on the source, but in this case it's the same source with two different names. So anyway, Les Bon Temps Relais, a most excellent product, and I'm going to end this review by saying, and here's what's coming up. These are the whiskeys and other spirits on the lineup, on the to review list. So y'all come on down to southeastern Louisiana.